guys, I'm Sabrina from The Power Within Us, and we are here today with Miss B. Thank you so much for coming. It's such a pleasure to meet you, and we are going to ask her what she does and how she started her line of work.
Well, first we probably thank you for having us, and thank you for having me. Um, Maybe we could talk about how we met.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Sure.
that explains the line of work, I guess,
For
right?
sure.
It was total serendipity. I was walking, she was walking on the street, and her friend started to talk, and we started to talk, and then we realized we were on the same path, on the same journey. And I shared with Sabrina my project, which is called the Missionaries of the New Love Revolution. And it's a movement of coming back within and coming back to the strongest force in the universe, which is love.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And why did you start working with that? What led you to such a empowerment to start this movement? What changed in?
I think a few things led to, the actual movement. First, the passing of my father. I had told him before he passed, like, I really want to dive into my faith. And I really want to dive into my spirituality. We've always had that in our household, but I felt like I wanted to really just go, head forward. I didn't know what that meant exactly at the time. And so he ended up passing, and just with the grief of him passing, I realized that I was more connected to him than I had ever been before. And so that was really empowering. And, people would say, I'm really sorry. And I'd be like, I don't feel sorry. Like, I feel like we're closer. There's no time, space, limitations now. We can just be, with each other. And so that was one thing. And then I had my daughter, which was a big shift, as any parent would attest to. And I feel like she really, like, if my dad's passing had opened the gate, she just, like, threw me in, like, go. And I was like, all right. Like, I had no choice but to, like, get on it. And so there was a lot of turbulence, as anybody would expect, with the addition of a new family member, and you come into realization of this new person that you start to become. We're always becoming, right? More of ourselves.
Definitely.
And so I think those two things were, years ago, the driving forces of this now, which I didn't know. And so last year I've had this name for a long time, the Missionaries of the New Love Revolution, that a friend had given me more than 10 years ago. And it just stuck with me. And I thought, oh, maybe it'll be a musical project. I've always played music. It's going to be people from all over the world, and we're going to do this world music. And then, that never came to fruition. And then one day I was just I had been reading things, and I just said, oh, I know what that is. I know what it is. I know what the missionaries are. It's an empowering movement. We're going to change the conversations, and we're going to change our reality, because I've always believed that everything we see outside of ourselves is a projection of what's inside. And so I thought, if we keep talking about these negative things, and we keep talking about how bad things are going, we're just going to keep bringing this up and materializing that. So that was one side of it. And then with the parenting being so strong, and I'm so passionate about people not falling into the mode of parenting, like what's expected for you to be. I want people to find their voice, and I want people to be empowered by who they are through parenting, for example. And so I said, oh, I'm going to do a series and talk about parenting, because I've never been your typical person, and so therefore I didn't fall into parenting and became the typical mother. I don't fit in most situations, and I'm okay with that. So I want people to understand that they have choices, and that they can make different, arrangements for what suits them, and everything based in love, respect, kindness, understanding, compassion, because if we don't give that to ourselves, we don't have that to give.
Exactly.
And so the coming back to love is that coming back to within, and like finding those things within yourself, so you're able to share that with the world.
Amazing. Such an important job to really be able to, educate the children and to let them find their inner guidance from the start, rather than conditioning, programming, and not allowing them to even connect to who they are. So I really appreciate what you're doing, but I also wanted to for you to tell us a little bit more about, you know, a message for parents there, and how they can be more conscious and can be more, I don't know, more loving and more caring and more freeing of the children.
I love that. I think that the first thing that I found for myself that may be empowering to others is that you need time for yourself first. Not coming from an egotistical place or selfish place, like, oh, I need this for myself, but from a resourceful place. You can't give what you don't have. And so if you fill your bucket first, you can give more. And parenting is such a giving, receiving, constant giving, receiving dynamic that if your think's full, the exchange is much more pleasant. So, first, I'd say that, find time for yourself. I wake up every day before my whole family wakes up because I need that time for myself. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, I need to wake up at like 5 in the morning. It's dark, and oh. And then I started to find the beauty in that. I get to wake up and it's dark and it's quiet. And this is all to myself. And I get to see the sunrise every day. And I get to be with myself before I can be with anybody else. And so that's one thing that has worked for me. The second thing is connecting to your breathing. That can always bring you to the present time. And so, oftentimes in struggles with children, we forget that we are not here to make them be what we want them to be. They're here to be themselves, like you said, and we need to hold a space for that with love, kindness, compassion, respect. A lot of people misunderstand that with being permissive. Oh, you just let your child do whatever they want to do. No, not that. It's communication, and it's the understanding that you're both learning. So we take the authoritative figure that of parents, I know everything, I'm here to tell you what to do, and you change that to like, let's learn this together. And truthfulness, and being able to tell your child, I'm really upset right now because I don't feel like myself. Or, not blaming them for how you feel because you are responsible for how you feel. We may think that, oh, they did that, therefore I'm bummed. But whatever somebody else does and however you react reflects of how you feel within yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And so I feel like, taking time to yourself, breathing, that throughout the day. The minute you feel like you're going to flip, take a couple deep. It seems really silly, but it just brings you to the present moment. And for some people, mantras can work, like something that they tell themselves just to realign them with that presence in that moment, because this is all we have.
Yeah,
it's right now, and children bring you to the now at all times if you're willing to be there.
Yeah. And it's such an important, and I like to make sure I make this a big deal because it's the future. If now we wake up and we take responsibility for parenting in the right way, and the way allows us to grow and be the best that we can be, and put such importance on that, and boy, this world could change. You know that, and it's such a great opportunity for parents to take responsibility and make sure they becoming part of that, and they allowing the children to be the best they can be, really.
And oftentimes we joke in our home that our daughter is raising us. It's not the other way around. We're not raising her, she's raising us, because I've never been a sharper human being. I mean, before she was born, I thought, I'm a good person. Now I'm like, dude, I'm a really cool person, because I took the chance of that opportunity. I took that opportunity, and I thought, there's no greater chance for me right now than this, to really tap into myself and really think, what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of parent do I want to be? And I feel like I was telling her just before I came here, she said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go make the world a better place for you and for all your friends, because I want us, not only them, but us, to enjoy a world where people are more compassionate, are kinder, because this is who we are, this is our essence. And social conditioning tries to manipulate and you know, divert us to go into a more competitive, a more like self-centered way of being, but that's not really our nature. And so the missionaries is also about, it's just come back to yourself, come back to your, you know, God nature. God is everywhere, love is everywhere inside of us, and so let's come back to us, to that, and then everything else starts reflecting that, and then the world is better.
For sure, for sure. I wanted to ask you one question that I ask pretty much everyone I interview.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, what was the most amazing or the most terrifying moment, you know, during your awakening, during your growth, and if you like to share either one of them with us, or just the one that was the most, you know, the highest impact in your.
Wow. I don't think I've ever thought of that myself. So give me a second. I think that, I bet people have amazing stories. I don't know if I have one moment that has impacted me, because the unfoldment of moments and the presence of moments to me make for my great, you know, like moment. So, but I did have a pretty cool experience a couple days ago where I found people
Oh yeah.
who wear this little thing around their necks or sometimes around their fingers called Moldavite. And ever since I've been wearing this stone, I feel like it has given me the opportunity to tap into a place within myself of empowerment, of right action. And I'm really grateful for that. And so I feel like this is the latest thing that has happened to me. So, as I said, I don't have one moment, I have a collection of moments that make a big moment that is now to me. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much,
Yes,
Miss
thank
B. And if you want to find more details, just click on the link and join the love
The missionaries of the
missionaries
new
of
love
the new
revolution.
love revolution. The new
Yes.
love revolution.
Peace.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.